Golden State Warriors take game two, take a 2-0 series lead, win the game 122 to 103. And even without all that said, with the score, it wasn't even close. If you look at the numbers for the game, Warriors shot 57% off overall, Cavs shot 41%. The Golden State Warriors shot 41% from three, Cavs 33%. Cavs and Golden State Warriors were equal in terms of turnovers. Warriors had 12, Cavs had 11. And when you keep the Warriors to low turnovers, they're very hard to beat, almost impossible to beat, really, honestly speaking. Rebounds, they were neck and neck, 41 apiece. And one of the things that really disturbed me about the game was how many free throws this Cleveland Cavaliers shot early in the game. Like early in the game, I think in the first half, I think Cavs shot maybe 10 or 12 free throws while the Warriors shot maybe one or two. So the referees were trying to make amends basically about what happened in game one. They didn't want to be the culprits to be, known for ruining the game. So essentially they said, we're going to call this game in the reverse. We're not going to call anything for the Warriors. And the Warriors still able to prevail. I thought that was going to be a key for Cleveland to bounce back game two, because I was like, okay, they're going to get a lot more free throws. And when you look at the free throw disparity, eventually it caught up, because it was 26 to 21 at the end of the game. But in the first half, Cavs got a lot of free throws, and that's what really kept them in the game and kept them from getting blown out so early. Because, I think first half it was like, a 13-point lead? It could have been a 17-point lead. The way the Golden State Warriors came out defensively and offensively, they should have been up 20. But the Cavs kept coming back. Even in the third quarter, Cavs went on a run, cut it down to 5, and then, Stephen Curry just detonated. We're going to get to him really quick, but let's just look at the numbers for all the other players. We'll start with, hold on one second. We'll get to the box score here. LeBron, of course, we're going to start with the king. You know what I'm saying? He had 29. He had 13 assists, 9 rebounds. One problem, though, he had 5 turnovers. So that's 5 turnovers. That's not good. Kevin Love had 22, 7 for 18. He was volume shooting, but, at least he did something. Tristan Thompson had 11. He had 5 rebounds. 5 rebounds is not going to cut it, especially any offensive rebounds. And then J.R. Smith, 5. Don't even want 2 for 9. Don't want to talk about him. And then you look at George Hill, 15. To me, LeBron got some semblance of help, but at the end of the day, it was really their defense. Their defense couldn't stop Golden State. You allow 57% shooting, you're not going to win the game. I don't care who you play. If you allow a team to score every single time, I think Golden State in the first half had like 5 or 6 layups. JaVale McGee had 2, Curry had 2, Draymond Green had 1. It was just crazy the amount of layups that they were giving up, and their defense just couldn't keep up. It couldn't keep up at all. And you look at their bench: Lance with 2, Gerald Green. I said Gerald Green. Green had 6. They wish it was Gerald Green from the Houston Rockets. And then you look at, Korver had 1 point. He had 17 minutes. He had 1 point. That's not going to cut it against this team. And then when you look at the Warriors side, it's completely different. Draymond Green, he only had 5 points, but he had 8 assists and 7 assists and 8 rebounds. Green only had 5 points, but his impact was felt all over the court. Especially he had a lot of minutes guarding LeBron straight up. He frustrated them switches. He was fighting over the switches, not like how Durant was. And then when you look at Durant, he had 26. He shot 10 for 14, back to his efficient self, but 9 rebounds and 7 assists. It's crazy when you have 2 forwards that can get you 7 assists. That's ridiculous. And JaVale McGee had 12, which is huge. Especially they inserted him in the starting lineup. We don't know when we'll ever see Andre Iguodala, if we ever will. That's what remains to be seen. But they're able to do it by committee. Klay Thompson had 20, 8 for 13. He went 3 for 8 from 3. Klay Thompson had solid numbers. He really helped out the team, especially like when they were Cleveland cut it down to 5. Klay Thompson hit a big 3 to bring it back up to 8, and then they were off to the races from there. And then you got the main man of the night, man, Stephen Curry, 33 points, 11 for 26. Man had 8 assists, 33 points, 8 assists, But dig this, 7 rebounds. He is one of the few little guards. I'm not going to call him little guard. He's like 6'3", 6'4". He's one of the few guards that can really rebound. Like, I mean, really rebound and do it well. And Golden State, I mean, just having him, they talk about having Kevin Durant is a luxury. Having Curry is like a necessity. Like, I mean, the things that he does on the court, the way that he moves the ball. I mean, he got Durant a couple of easy dunks. There was one play where they thought he was going to pull up for 3. He did he between the legs, right-handed, bounce pass to Durant for a dunk. He spreads the floor. He relocates every time he passes the ball. He relocated to the corner and got a 3. I mean, he did a pump fake on Larry Nance, and Lance went out of bounds, hit 3. Then he did another one, same kind of play on Kevin Love. Passes the ball to Green. Green passed right back to him. He shoots it up, foul and 1 for 3. For basically a 4-point play. Then you got another play where the Warriors are up 11 in the third or third or the fourth. He dribbling, loses the handle, gets the ball. There's like 1.5 or 1.6. Curry just throws the ball up, swish. And sometimes it's good to be a little lucky or whatever. But I mean, with him, I mean, do you really call it luck or is it skill? I mean, to me that was a little luck. But at the end of the day, the man, the way he shoots the basketball is ridiculous. So, but they had a really good run. I mean, hit 15 threes. Just their offense was so efficient. The efficiency of their offense was just ridiculous. And then you got great bench production. You got Livingston giving you 10. You got Bell giving you 5. You have Zaza Pachulia 6 or whatever, but he didn't really matter. You have David West. He had a big 3 in the third, I believe. They were up 8. He had a big 3 when Durant passed the ball in the corner to make it go back to 11. And then, you know, everything with the inbounds foul or whatever with Cleveland. And Bell had a great impact because he forced Green to turn over the ball, and the Warriors had a chance to get, you know, even more points on the board. So it was just a total team effort. When they say strength in numbers, they mean it 100%, man. I mean, that the way they play, the way they do everything it really is strength in numbers, 100%, 100%. So when you look at the Cavs and their bench production, I mentioned Livingston had 10 off the bench. He didn't miss a shot. Where are the Cavs going to get that bench production? Because LeBron is eventually, he needs to sit. He needs to have minutes off, take time off, whatever the case is. Tonight, he played 44 minutes. I mean, that's ridiculous. The other game, he played like 50-something plus minutes. You have to get LeBron rest and spurts, and he has to have other guys carry the team. He went 10 for 20, but you could tell at certain aspects he was gassed, he was tired, he was fatigued. You just can't rely on him to do everything like the way that the Cavs are doing. Kevin Love, maybe you sit LeBron down and just keep Kevin Love on the floor and offense runs through him. But just the way the Cavs' stagnant offense was and their poor defense, I mean, they give up so many layups. Sometimes they even give offensive rebounds. They give an offensive rebound to Draymond Green, which is unheard of. Absolutely unheard of. So, you know what I'm saying? And what I mean is unheard of is because you have Kevin Love, Tristan Thompson. Those guys should be cleaning the glass for you guys. Warriors are undersized for the most part, and they were just giving up everything. The switches, they couldn't guard anything that Warriors did. They couldn't guard the low post splits. They couldn't guard the mismatches. When Curry was getting Kevin Love on him, he's driving by him, dishing it off, or jaying him in the eye, or he was, dribbling past George Hill, whatever the case is. Kevin Durant got on the post, turn around jumper right on your head. Klay Thompson driving to the rack, kicking out. I mean, Draymond Green even got past Tristan Thompson. So everybody with the Warriors were live. And that's why they're so hard to defend. Everybody that had the ball was alive to attack. Like, they weren't like a dud. They weren't a decoy. None of that. Even JaVale McGee. We mentioned JaVale McGee again. JaVale McGee had 12 points, 6 for 6. So everybody was live. Everybody could get it in a good way for the Warriors. While in the Cavaliers aspect, it was just a one-man wrecking crew. And Kevin Love put up some points, but it was too little, too late. And a lot of people want to mention, well, the Cavs blew a lot of three-pointers and this, that, and the third. They did. And so did the Warriors. The thing is with the Cavs is like, one thing about them when they lose, people always mention like the guys are scared, the guys are shook, or the guys they can't play and stuff. Sometimes you also gotta tip your hat to the other opposing team. They're defending them really well, and then the times when they do get open, they're so used to not being open, it's hard for them to get in the rhythm. A lot of guys just aren't in rhythm because of the way that the Golden State defense is forcing them to put the ball on the floor, or they're loading up on LeBron. And for the Cavs, I would like to see more back picks for the shooters, and for the shooters as well. Sometimes you need to drive and force the guys to get a foul. I thought in the first half, the way that the Cavs were getting the whistle, you definitely need to drive the ball more, and not just LeBron, because LeBron, the problem with him driving to the rack is he complains a heck of a whole lot. And when he doesn't get calls, it's, they're off to the races. As far as, like, for example, let's just say George Hill, he drives to the rack, or we'll say Green drives to the rack. Those guys, they could affect the game because they could be helping slow down the game overall, as opposed to just LeBron doing it, because LeBron has to defend, he has to score, he has to rebound. Then you want him to slow the game down, you want him to control the pace. There's just too many things for one man to do. So other guys have to step up. Kevin Love has to step up in that aspect as well. Cleveland does play better at home, but the Golden State Warriors show you they can win at home. There's a stat though for the Warriors. On the road, they're like 4-4. So they haven't been dominant on the road, whatever the case is. But this is different. Like, this is the finals. So I expect them to come out with a haymaker. I expect Cleveland to come out with a lot of energy, whatever the case is. But I also expect the Warriors to come out with a haymaker. I really expect them to come out with a haymaker. That being said, I still think Cleveland wins Game 3. I think it's going to take a valiant effort by LeBron, another 50-point game. But Cleveland needs to beware of that haymaker, because I remember last year, it was, I don't know, it was Game 3 or Game 4 in Portland, and they had a 2-0 lead against Portland. And they came out in that first half, and first quarter, they put up 40 points. And that looks like something that could happen. A lot of guys are talking about, did they get over Game 1 and the calls, what could have, should have been. And initially they did, but it was too much. It was too much down the stretch. And it proved to be overwhelming. When it proved to be overwhelming, it was over. That avalanche started hitting, Curry started dancing, and it was a wrap. And one thing I can respect about Curry going off, he wasn't shimmying or nothing. The man, he deserved to shimmy this game. He had 9 3-pointers in the NBA Finals, breaking Ray Allen's record. Now, if you guys don't remember Ray Allen's record, I think it was Game 1, 2010 NBA Finals. My goodness, I was watching that game. Ray Allen kept hitting 3 after 3 after every time he hit a 3, like that, like that, like that, like that, bang, 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 bang. That game completely shot me. I think it was Game 1 or Game 2. He was killing it. So when you watch a Curry flurry like this, sometimes we're so used to seeing it, but to do it in the finals, to have some of the games he's been having in the finals, he's really trying to prove the critics wrong about him. But Game 3, I expect the Cavs to win. I expect them to win this game, honestly, because I felt like they were wrong, so they would be like, all right, we're going to have more energy. We're going to do everything we need to do. But down the stretch, it was too much. It was too much. And maybe they felt like there was a 6th man on the court or whatever. You guys remember that movie with Marlon Wayne, 6th Man, and that guy from Different World. Damn, Dwayne Wayne. I don't know his real name. It'll come to me one of these days. But it felt like there was a 6th man out there. And we can't say it's the refs. So it is what it is, man. I mean, Cavs, though, they should play better at home. It should be a closer game. And I look for LeBron to have a big game, but they need to beware that flurry. If there's a big flurry by the Warriors, then I guarantee you some of them Cavs are going to pack it up. Not LeBron, but I think some of those other players will pack it up.